Catherine, it's us. Got any new commissions? Specifically one with a huge more attack, perhaps? Pyah's just being enthusiastic. We're old friends now, she gets it.
It's always a pleasure to see our two most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see. Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open. Having read the details, however, I don't believe you'd consider it to be lucrative.
Don't worry about that. We were just kidding. So what's the situation?
To put it simply, the requester is looking for a temporary replacement actress for their musical. The original cast member ran into some issues, and is currently unable to perform the role. But the troupe has also been experiencing some financial difficulties, so unfortunately they cannot afford to pay the replacement actress.
That does sound like a tricky situation. So basically they're looking for a volunteer?
That's right. Our adventurers reached out to many actresses, but none of them were willing to take the job. There are only a few days left until the performance. If they can't find someone in time, they'll probably have to postpone the show. And delays tend to create all sorts of new problems.
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. What do you think, Traveler? Any ideas? Even if we took the commission, neither of us have any experience starring in musicals.
If you're interested in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there. Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution. Maybe there's something he hasn't thought of.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon. Paimon approves, let's go! Hello there, are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two! Are you really willing to act in my musical?
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already. But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
Ah, I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot. If we can't find someone to step in, we'll have no choice but to cancel the show. It would be such a shame.
Mic check. There we go. Weird. I don't know why it did that. Anyway, back to me complaining. I have to do Farina's story quest in order to do the last part of Lantern Rite. Anyway, I fucking hate it here.
That's the thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts. All our sets and props are very crude. We're grateful enough just to get an audience, never mind ticket fees.
Yes, unfortunately,
if we had a way to make this profitable, things might
We
have turned out
discovered her
differently.
tragic backstory
Now,
last
it looks
stream,
inevitable
but
that will disband.
Disband? You're splitting up the troupe?
alright, Primos.
Oh, I guess the lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah, this is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe.
Edge.
One last show. And after that, we go our separate ways. So we were really hoping to end on a high note. Nobody wants things to just fizzle out. Not after all the time and effort we've invested into it.
Catherine mentioned that one of your actresses can't make it.
Yeah, the leading lady, in fact. She's been dealing with a chronic illness ever since childhood. And
Edge.
unfortunately, it flared up again recently.
Nah,
It really drains all her energy, so she's in no state to perform.
I feel
The
you.
show just won't be the same without her. But for everyone else's sake, I still hope we can find a way to hold the performance on schedule.
Got it. We have a clearer picture now. Let's see if we can come up with an idea.
Don't have kids.
What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you carrying?
Please, there's no need to go that far. I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge
I'm surprised
favor.
Paimon would even
And I can't
offer
promise
that.
that we'd
He's
ever
such
be
a
able to pay
greedy
you
little
back.
gut. More isn't the biggest problem. How do we find someone who's a good fit for the role?
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the Mora, that's not exactly rescuing the show. We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible.
Our cash is her cash, so.
Oh, wait!
That's why I'm surprised she actually
You know
offered.
who?
Great minds think alike. I was just thinking that.
That's how you know we're the best of partners. Anyway, she should have all the free time in the world right now. She's really good at performing, and she was once super popular with the crowd. Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
Lamo.
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous.
Arena.
Her? You're... That was a joke, right?
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage before, but Paimon's pretty confident that she'd be really good at it.
She's been performing for
You're not
500
wrong
years.
She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before. They were one of the reasons she was so popular. But even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner.
Spoilers
She's
if
still
you
an
didn't
idol
watch
to
last
many
night.
people in Fontaine, including myself. I just think Lady Farina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur troupe like ours.
You want the show to go ahead, don't you?
Well, yes, but... Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing
technically
to, then of
Nouvelier.
course I'd be honored to have Lady Farina star in our show.
So,
I'm sure the rest of the
quick
troupe would be
summary
delighted too.
of what
I'm
happened
sure everyone
last
in our
night,
troupe
because
has
that
probably
was
dreamt of
such
performing on stage with her one
such
day.
a long stream.
Of course, it all depends on
Essentially-
whether she's interested.
Well, hello,
She
Eric.
might consider this opportunity beneath
Essentially,
her.
the
No point in stressing about that.
the summary of the
We
last
already
part of the
asked her.
Fontaine quest is
Besides, things are different now. There's no reason for her
So
to be all high and
Focalor-
mighty anymore.
so all the people of Fontaine were Oceanids, created by Focalor. Focalor and Farina are not the same person. Focalor is the divinity, the actual Hydro Archon, whereas Farina is just like a human version of herself. And then
Thank you for your
she
help. I guess I'll
essentially
just stay here and
Focalor
wait for the
had
good
this
news.
plan to trick
Good
the
luck.
Wait,
prophecy based on the heavenly
where does
principles
Farina actually live
by
now?
utilizing
She used to
Farina.
live in luxury at the
Farina was a
Palais
cursed
Marmonia,
human.
but
She was
moved out,
destined to
right?
be tragic and
happens,
lonely for
I have her
500
current address
years,
here. I can
so that
provide
she
it to
would
you.
end up crying on the throne all
When
by
did you
her
get
lonesome.
here?
That's
I
how they
came
tricked
over
the
when things were
prophecy.
starting to
But
sound more
Focalor
promising.
was
I thought I should be at the
executed
ready
by
in
a
case my
machine of her
assistance
own
is needed.
making.
It is my duty to support commissioners.
But
in
before
any way
doing
I
that,
can.
she granted
Thank you,
Nouvelier
Thank you so much.
his ability,
Now that
or
we've got the
the
address, we'll go find Farina. Back in a jiffy.
divine power of Hydro, returned it to him. Because the Dragon Sovereigns were originally the rulers of that instead of the Archons. Yeah, if she's not mellowed out in this fucking quest, then I'm just fucking blasting through everything she says. But yeah, so there's no more Hydro Archon. Essentially,
Give us the right
the
address?
Ortrice Mécanique
She
d'Analyse Cardinal
here?
was made for
Not that there's anything
executing
wrong with
the
this
Hydro
place, it's
Archon
just,
and the seat in the
a bit of a step
heavenly
down from the
or
Palais
in
Marmonia.
Celestia, basically. So there is
You know,
period
it's
no more
common
Hydro
courtesy to
Archon.
make sure the homeowner isn't an earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Ah! Okay, when did
Oh,
Poppy
look,
Gun
she's
and
sad
Dinner
and
become all
mopey.
the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags.
Wow.
I used
Living
to
like
have
a college
much
student?
wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
Don't you get sick of macaroni every day?
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week,
Fair enough.
macaroni and bolognese the next.
I learned a lot of
sounds
ways
like
to
you really
prepare
struggled
ramen in
with
college. But yeah, also there was a whale that I had to beat up. That was a thing. We found child and all that.
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity.
It's kind of ridiculous how long that
It's
last
not
part
like
of the.
I have a very eventful life these days.
long
Actually,
the
I
last part of that
barely leave
quest
the
was.
house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now too. Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre focilor or blubber profiteroles in no time.
Oh, yeah?
If I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
But she cut her
Not
hair.
yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoot!
Sorry, we're sorry. Please don't be mad.
Paimon was just showing concern for your well-being.
Yeah, exactly what the traveler said. Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you. Hang on a sec, you weren't exactly holding back either.
Serena, here's the whole damn circus. Well, she was trying to put on the act that she was the actual Hydro Archon, so she was trying to fit what the people thought, or what she thought the people thought would like the heart as their Archon. So this is a little more the actual her, as far as I can tell.
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon.
You never
I don't
were.
have a vision now.
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious.
But yeah,
It's just
the
very
whole
specific,
Fontaine
and you're
ended
the
up
one with the power to
flooding
help.
once the fucking weird ass whale came out of the primordial sea and tried to fucking eat everybody in the Opera de Eples. And
Oh.
then
Well, if that's the case, then
when Nouvelier
fine. I'll
got
spare you
returned
the
the
lecture
power
about your
of
attitude
Hydro,
just now.
we went after the fucking
So
whale.
tell me, what specifically makes this matter so...
And
specific?
because of that, it caused the water levels in Fontaine to
see.
rise.
I knew
Luckily,
you couldn't have come all
Nouvelier
this way
managed
just to amuse
to
yourselves at my
turn
expense. After all, I was once the
the-
brightest
essentially,
star in all of Fontaine.
the Oceanid lore was
well-versed in all
that
the
the
various
primordial
performing
sea was
arts.
the blood of the
A musical
Oceanids,
is
and that's
well
how they
within
turned
my
human.
capabilities.
Yeah, they do love their whales.
But given the present circumstances,
It was a really badass scene
I'm
with
afraid
Child,
I must
actually.
regretfully decline your
I highly
casting
recommend
request.
at least watching that, but
How come? It sounds like this would be a
Um,
breeze for you.
but
True,
um,
but I have made a decision to
so
retire
since
from
the
the stage.
Oceanid's blood was
Although I
the
am no
primordial
longer required
sea,
to play
coming
the
in
role
contact
of
with
a
the primordial
Hydro
sea is
Archon,
what dissolved
the
them.
time I spent
Um,
inhabiting that
They
character
returned to their forms
has left an indelible
originally,
mark on me.
essentially.
Centuries of pretending to be a different
and-
person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was.
Good, it was
Of
fucking
course,
stupid.
that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again.
Oh god, no.
But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
So that's how you really feel.
Paimon can understand.
And so
But
once
This
Nouvelier
is just a one-off
regained the
part to fill in
power
for someone who's sick.
that the
that's
Hydro
okay.
Archon had,
Whether it's a one-off or not,
he
it's a boundary that I've
turned
committed to no longer
the
cross.
um,
If I make an exception to the rule now,
primordial
I'm
sea
just
and
leaving a
Fontanian's
back door for
blood
myself,
into
which
actual
would be
blood.
the same as not having a boundary in the first place.
So Fontanians
So
no
I'm
longer
not going
dissolve
to
when
perform,
touching the
and
primordial
that is
seawater.
that.
Okay, guess there's no
So when Fontaine
convincing
flooded, everybody was fine.
you. Is there anything else we can do
Aside
to help
from,
out
you
the
know, the
troop?
threat of drowning.
Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any
Last night was a
might be
lot.
interested in the role.
There's a lot of lore involved.
Short and to the point. Okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've
Yeah, less
ever worked
bad
with
then.
probably couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Okay, the water's receded.
Since I'm just an ordinary person now,
Risley had the big ass
they'll
ship to help
probably just
save
laugh in my
everybody.
face if I go asking them for help.
You shouldn't assume the worst of people.
True, but I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for? Ooh, no way. I'm dying from embarrassment just thinking about it. Nope, not happening.
Do it, dumb bitch.
Well,
You
is there
owe it to your
anything
people.
else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're working for.
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really. But if I thought I had the answer to this problem, I would have said so by now.
It's all right, Farina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed.
Let's try and come up with a plan B.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then. We'll see you around, Farina.
Toodaloo to you, too. I'm going home to take a rest now.
Also, we had a lot more time with the
It's too bad, but we have to respect
With the
Farina's
knave.
decision. Maybe the thought of
Father
performing
dearest.
brings up too many painful
we
memories
love her
now.
desperately. What the fuck's going on here?
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you
Yes,
again.
I would love to see him
Why
in a
did
pretty
you start
dress.
looking for a replacement
I'm
without
sure-
my
I
consent?
think there's art out there
When did
already.
I tell you I'm
but-
going to take a step back?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long
Artists
now?
can't resist
We know
putting
the signs.
pretty men into
But
pretty
you never
dresses.
tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Rest, bitch.
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me, but can you both take a
Billy,
moment
it
to
wouldn't be
discuss
a good
something else
actor,
for
though.
now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did your conversation with Farina go?
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
Imagine if we had managed to convince Farina, only to find out she's no longer needed.
Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Farina really so harsh with people?
Only joking, calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now, huh? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you.
Get that
So-
understudy, dog.
Are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share
Speaking of
everyone's
medication,
desire to
I
commemorate all our
actually-
years as a troupe with a proper
I've
farewell
been
show.
taking
So the
too
last thing I
little
want
of
is to be
my
left out.
meds by accident.
Every one of
I
us
thought
thinks of this troupe
I
as
was
their
supposed to be
home,
taking 2
myself
pills once a
included.
day, but I'm supposed
You're
to be
right.
taking 2 pills
I'm
twice
sorry.
a day.
I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have
And
asked for your permission first.
I was like, damn, why are they refilling my
Sounds
prescription
like
so
the show
fast?
will go
And
on.
I haven't even finished my first bottle of it. And I was like, oh, I actually read the instructions again. I was like, oh, I fucked up.
Sure.
Don't worry, I'm taking them properly now.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list. All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me. Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation just now.
Farina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you
I
doing
mean,
here?
the dosage I was on was
I was
like,
just
still just
ever
taking
so
the 2
slightly
pills once a
concerned
day.
about the
was
situation you
doing enough.
mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned, that's all. When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about
I
how
know,
it went
right?
down. I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Pyah didn't take any of that personally.
Then why did you just show up?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you?
Yep.
I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Farina star in our show?
There's no need to think like that, and no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Farina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband? If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in this serial disappearances case.
Said.
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice.
Hell yeah, brother.
But still,
Our first Ace
no
Attorney
sentence
run
can
in
bring our
Genshin.
director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Farina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and mentored each and every one of us.
Damn.
People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray. None of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly but surely falling apart. It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end and watch all our dreams turn to dust.
Oh.
So sad.
What a terrible waste. a gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. And then her life was so cruelly taken. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing.
Look at you actually doing something for
Karina?
once.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement anyway. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member. But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh, most definitely. We'll take any guidance that you can give.
We unfortunately
growth?
don't have any
Shocking,
budget for a
no.
consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
Verdict can bring emotional catharsis.
An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh? You just want to get back in on the action, don't you?
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
Whatever you say, bitch.
Come on!
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Sure, whatever.
Thank you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Farina's performances, as of course we all are. All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please excuse the size. It's a little on the smaller side.
I don't want to do any of this. I just want to finish Lantern, right? Damn it. Oh. That's what I get for being behind. Let's start doing character story quests. So I don't have to deal with this kind of shit again. I need to do Nikita's anyway. So I can level up my boy's talent some more. There's a weekly boss. It's locked behind our story quest. They're usually like 1 to 2 hours.
Huh? Lady Farina?
I looked this one up. It's like an hour
What's
45
Lady
for
Farina
this
doing
one.
here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Miss Farina will be supporting our production of The Little Oceanid in the role of artistic consultant. These two
Another
over here
Archon being
are
a
the ones that
consultant.
made it
Wow.
possible.
Never heard that
They kindly
before.
reached out to Miss Farina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction.
Former Archon.
You
Pardon.
bet! That was the trial of the century!
You helped bring our
Yeah,
director's
not the
murderer
5.5
to justice.
hours of
We
last
can't thank you
night's
enough.
quest.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
I did not expect it to be that long.
So, you were saying...
Because
the
most of the
Little
time,
Oceanid?
any story quest
Yeah,
is like
that's the
at
name of our
most 2
final show.
hours.
It's an unfinished
5.5?
script left behind by our
Fucking
director.
ridiculous.
One of our greatest regrets
There was a
is
whole
that she never
section
got
that
to
was
complete
just
it.
basically
So,
watching a
if we can bring
movie
it to the
too, and I was
stage
like,
and make it a successful
bro,
show, we can all take
just
some
let me
solace
fight
in
the
that.
fucking whale.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Though the soundtrack for fighting the whale, fucking banger. Best fucking soundtrack in this game. Not lying.
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the story's
I
all
don't know
about.
if it's out yet.
The protagonist of the story is a
They've
young
released it
Oceanid
in
who
the,
transforms herself into human
soundtrack.
form, despite the
But I
protests of
want
her
to listen
family.
to it again so bad.
She longed to
It
live
was so
just like any
good.
other human. And sure enough, she found friendship and even love. Everything seemed perfect. But one day, her true identity was exposed, and her world came crashing down around her.
So far, so
Lamau.
good. A classic tale. What happened after that?
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on which direction to take it in.
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than fiction.
Ooh.
But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their emotional stake in this, not just our own. And one last thing. We're still
Fair,
waiting on
but
confirmation
Emotes
from
can
2 of our
make
main actors.
Really good art.
The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's passed, and we still haven't heard from him. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since. He did write to us,
You played in
promising
the
that he'll be there
game.
for the
Artists
final
love
performance,
punishing
but
their
we haven't seen
or
or heard
pushing
from
their
him
angst
since.
and pain onto others.
So we're not really sure what to make of that.
Huh. Although, now that we have Miss Farina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
What opportunity?
Speaking of angst
What do you mean?
and stories, considering
Maybe you're unaware,
pushing a
but
plot point
your name
forward
has always been like a
in,
rallying
their
cry for
trade.
us.
Our director was
They've
constantly
been
singing
in
your
such
praises.
a writer's block.
All of
I
us
started
look up
writing
to you
this
as a
plot
role
point.
model.
It's like the next major one.
Stop! You're making me all flustered.
But I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
No, not in a bad way.
Sounds like Aria's back.
I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending. He went back to Poisson a few days ago. Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago.
about that.
But I guess it's the opposite. A friend in need and all
Navia
that.
lost her boys.
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson?
You gonna be sad about it?
Nothing.
Because you didn't do
I suppose
fucking
my
shit?
presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. To Poisson!
Like, she knew water levels were rising in Poisson, but she didn't do anything about it. So. And then a lot of people fucking died when the primordial sea surged out. Yeah, she should feel guilty for that bullshit. because of her we lost Navia's boys. Her right and left hand man. Yeah, she had the knowledge, but she did not do anything about it. She could have evacuated the people early, but no. She did nothing. And that's why I still don't like her.
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
She had the opportunity.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
Alright. Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
Okay then. Looking forward to your masterpiece.
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
Shocker.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree on it.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson.
Navia!
I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Farina, too.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So you're here
Feeling
for Paolo?
guilty, Mitch?
Looks like you could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll
Mom
around town in the
Navia.
meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
Lamau.
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
Yeah, it was a pretty fucked up scene.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something I could do.
You could have
Must
done
our
it a while ago,
conversations take
baby.
such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do.
Let's go, Navia.
And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words
Yeah,
of
there's
comfort.
something she could have done.
You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done. Which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe.
Yeah.
To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Farina. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Let's go, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me.
Girl
Anyway,
boss.
that was all. Look after her now.
Got it, Navia. Thank you.
Off we go then. Let's
I'm
take a
still
look
so
up
sad
there.
that I couldn't pull
I
Navia.
don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with. So maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
You. Girl boss, good edition. Yeah. Her and Clorind. Textbook girl bosses. And probably gay for each other.
I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know if I was ready to meet her. It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything. You can't get around the obstacles without facing them.
You
So that's
faced
why you
them
were
and
nervous
didn't
when
do
they brought up
anything.
Poisson.
So
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back here. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past.
No, that's how Haven
I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and accept.
I'm sure people didn't buy Navia's lie.
Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
Maybe you've taken on a bit too much.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see. How would that make me any different from before?
They're trying to grow.
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
They're not staying quiet either.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there.
Bling.
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
Yeah.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing
Speak
to
for
see a
yourself,
different side of you.
Paimon.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm.
I mean, it did, but it wasn't
And all the
you.
while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You're only doing your duty.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further use to people.
You gotta make yourself useful then,
Paimon would
dumb
have
bitch.
never imagined you'd see it that way.
Think of your freedom as a reward.
A reward?
Now you can finally speak from your heart.
I guess so. And back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing the secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Farina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust.
No, I didn't trust you for a fucking
I had to
second.
keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart.
I mean, she kinda is still.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same.
Do you feel better after having gotten it all off your chest?
I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands. All right, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
Sure. Okay, let's head back and check it out.
Yeah, her acting was very mid.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
That sounds so good right now.
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food. Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Preach.
Oh no, looks
Take
like
care
they're
of yourself,
arguing
Chat.
again. We're back! Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly
I
done.
wish I had
We
money
shouldn't
for
have to
fish
wait
and
too
chips
much
right now.
longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least.
Lol.
So now he's playing the boar instead.
Sorry.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too, like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
Oh, I wonder
It's the most
why.
important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me anymore. I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness with various medicines. But whenever I had a bad flare-up, I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a time.
no.
It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under her wing,
I've
taught
been
me to
chronic
both sing
illness
and
for
act,
a
helped
little
me
over
find
a
more for
year
my
now.
meds,
I
took
can
care of me when
only
my
imagine
condition decided to flare up.
how bad it is having it since childhood.
I know it was all a huge burden on her.
She sounds like a
Been
really
very
incredible
rough.
person.
But like having
She really was.
that from the beginning.
She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a
Genshin's been
murderer,
putting a lot
my
more
parents
depth
weren't
to
around when I
their
was little,
side characters.
so I got sent to an orphanage. The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." It was just to taunt me, though. I was an easy target, and they knew it. One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I lost all faith in humanity by that point. Thought the whole world was out to get me.
Let me guess. Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
Yeah, for the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to. This is our new artistic consultant, Miss Farina.
Farina? The Farina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
Please,
Connection.
the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script. I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she wants to become a human against the wishes of her family. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then,
Yeah.
disaster strikes. The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid, plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic. The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it and investigate the truth of the matter together. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land, as if driven by a consciousness of its own.
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret. The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover, and the rest of humanity.
Dead.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd
Look
stood
at
up
the
for her.
person right next to
Through
you.
her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love. One that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
There's actually something else that bothers me. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible. What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death. both arbitrary and meaningless.
In an
On the day when she
alternative
went missing,
universe where
Director
Farina
O'Reilly had
fucking
instructed us
failed.
all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city. We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to the city, she disappeared without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her,
Save
but
those
she was nowhere
ideas
to be
for
found.
Yoko.
Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the latest victim in the serial disappearances case.
The director was the kindest soul in the world. Yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to do with her at all.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen? It almost seems as if she was moving you to safety.
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Villemont might know something, but he won't open up to me.
Villemont? The one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Edge.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than me. Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with O'Reilly.
There, bud.
What? You kept that one quiet.
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away.
Oh.
She said that we were all
That's
like
rough,
brothers
buddy.
and sisters to her, and she never considered us as potential romantic partners. Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd always be there for the troupe, and I'd always be there for her. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required her constant attention, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
Oh, Paulo.
So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by O'Reilly. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
In that case, you have to straighten
Yeah,
things
he
out
did.
with Villemont once and for all, face to face.
I'm into the
We've all had
story
our
quest for
differences
these
of
side
opinion over the
characters,
ending,
though.
but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go visit Villemont.
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes. Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone.
I'm
Hello, Z.
not that far off from what her circumstances were. She just didn't have a lover to help her out. Let's go from the top. Then it can glide down.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
You tell him, girl boss.
Ugh, as if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour. Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
Get in there,
We're
coward.
just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Farina in a fight before.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into Indemnitium. Miss Farina said so herself.
Precisely. And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway. As much as it pains me, unfortunately,
Time to
I
be
should
useful
just stay
girl
put.
failure.
I'm more like a damsel in distress more than anything.
Get in there, bitch.
Sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
This doesn't require god level powers. Don't you have any self-defense?
Hey, lay off, all right? My bluff is hanging from a thread here. I'm sorry. I got carried away. Please help us out, would you?
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight mode Farina.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
Don't
I
worry,
think she's a
piece
support
of cake.
character anyway.
The wind knows me. Clouds high, the birds call.
Order guide you.
Oh, there's more of you.
I'll settle this. Stand with me.
Into the wind.
Bow your head. Be sanctified.
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Farina doing here?
Don't worry about it.
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop.
Hello.
We now have everyone
Welcome to
except you.
Strain.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us.
Bud?
We're supposed to be a unit when we're on stage.
Spill the tea, bitch.
Fiamma, avoiding the truth will not help anyone. Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah?
Listen, Fiamma. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show. The Little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelie on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized the drink in question was synth.
Isn't that the drink paddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
Surprise! I remember that it induces state of euphoria, but it also causes significant harm to the body.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration. The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
Damn.
And then?
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything.
You brought the director to the attention of the synth dealers. Your mistake gave them a motive to kidnap and murder her.
Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean, you were afraid? This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her! How could you be so stupid?
Or you all could have died.
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered! She was the love of my life! And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show! How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back the director. What good is my apology now? I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. End my life so I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Damn.
Get out of my sight!
Look at this team.
Go!
This is
Get
pretty great.
lost! I don't ever want to see your face again!
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you! Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
Ooh.
You're right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
these side characters got quite the drama going on.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe. What she
Like I
wanted
said, I'm here
was
for
to
these
build
side
a warm
characters,
home
not
for all of
Farina.
her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. And that's what you should be celebrating. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already? After everything she did for you?
Yeah.
Her making
So
sense.
think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you hope to achieve by arguing with each other. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the
It's
group
true.
is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director Aurelie and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding person.
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
There, buddy.
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray. The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
It might actually be possible to find out more about her fate.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims.
Yeah.
If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
You really think that's possible?
Don't we bring
I
her back?
trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's true feelings.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia.
Yeah.
The rest of you, head
That's what I
back to the
thought.
rehearsal
Like,
location
I'm pretty
for now,
sure we
and
brought
wait
all that
for our
shit
good
back.
news.
For evidence and whatnot. Hello, Sadine.
You want to review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case? But, that case has been closed for quite a while now. Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on. I'll have someone dig them out.
Thank you.
So, this is all Aurelie left behind. Just whatever she was carrying on her person and this tattered old notebook.
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be placed on stage.
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped. Aha! I found something. To whoever discovers this diary. Let's see. Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on
These
dissolving young women.
bureaucrats are cute.
If
or
we'd had the
sexy
chance
ones.
to
True.
examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vacher's guilt.
Vacher took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims he had.
I guess
Wait a
Aurelie
bit.
must have written all of this down in the hope that her records would one day be of use to investigators. Wait, it cuts off.
Something wrong?
Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left. Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
Someone else was taken. That makes 6. Or perhaps the 7th? Someone tried to escape yesterday, but was caught. She hasn't been seen since. What? Was that yesterday? Or maybe not. I've long since lost track of time. Sorry, I don't know if writing this is of any use or how much longer I can do it for. I can already see my fate approaching, but what terrifies me even more is the thought of seeing the others from the troop here. I truly protected them? Sorry. I am so sorry. I cannot. I can write no more. I think I have a fever and my old stomach troubles have returned, but nobody has given me any medicine. I suppose I am more fortunate than Chrissy. The pain keeps her awake all night. I suppose they think that anything goes as long as the experimental subjects can be used up before they die. So damp here. I've given her my blanket. So cold, so cold, so cold. As long as one persists, all things will pass. There will be a reward for hard work. I like to tell them such things. But it is I who am losing my grip. Anyone sees this. Troop, safe, I, them, important. Please, farewell, apologize. Life, perform, future, regret. Cleo. This page is an absolute mess, and the writer's pen seems to have wandered its surface at random. That only some words can be made out, barely that. From this page onward, the diary stops to be replaced with lyrics from musicals. Some are in the form of newspaper clippings, others are handwritten with many crossing outs and changes. It's apparent that the pages have been referenced often, and this was a personal notebook of the artistic director Aria.
She was so terrified.
She just watched a girl get dissolved right in front of her and had to wait for her own death in silence.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but at the end of the day, she was only human. I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been. Wait. This part on the last page sounds strangely familiar.
Flipping through the notebook, the lyrics continue. However, one page has been torn out, folded up, placed next to the last blank page. At the bottom of the folded note are two new lines Aria has written, handwriting much more legible than before, but it seems they took both great effort and great deal of time to write. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this what you truly want? Because I am an older sister to them. I love them.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the Little Oceanid?
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision, even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troop would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love, and she truly deserved it. Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director O'Reilly's final thoughts.
I'll go make them sad. Wee. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, Sag. Long time passes before the group is able to calmly come together and to finally make a decision.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant sacrificing herself. We know what choice our little Oceanid would have made now. I don't think any more discussion is necessary. Well, Vilmont, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
I will
show
channel
must
all my
go
regret
on.
and put it into my performance, to make this a show worthy of our director. I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about Director Aurelie and her alone.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus. I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Woo.
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals, I've learned one important thing. If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role, pouring all your emotion into your performance. And aren't human emotions, love, hate, regret, and hope, just the most mesmerizing things in this world?
Sure, whatever you say,
I don't
honey.
believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Miss Farina. And thank you for supporting us through all this.
Then, let's not delay things any longer. We need to discuss the details of the ending and get it nailed down once and for all.
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a proposal. During the curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Financial stability is pretty enchanting.
But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling in for her. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Well, if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe. All right, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
Nah, she's gonna get you
That
something
place?
better.
Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the Opera Epiclese.
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that Aurelie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine.
No, though that's not what I meant.
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
Go big or go home.
I have no problem with it then. How about the rest of you?
Don't get too nervous.
I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It really is a dream come true.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too. Come on, we'll need to get the go-ahead from Nerilette. I know just where to find him.
Yes, let's go see Dragon Daddy. Yes.
Hey, look at that! Looks like I guessed right.
You were just...
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Farina. And you too, traveler in Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
I would like to book the Opera Epiclese for an event.
She's so pretty.
You see...
Blah, blah, blah.
I understand. The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult.
Let's go.
The story of the little Oceanid is most fascinating.
Favoritism.
I'm looking forward to seeing it performed on stage. I will say,
Pretty
however,
boy.
that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts
Nom, nom,
rekindled
nom.
after all that has happened.
Huh? What do you mean? Do I look excited?
Yes. And this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But one thing led to another, and... well, here we are. In the past, we sat in our high chairs
Yeah, no,
in the
they rarely
court,
do that.
giving our opinions on isolated cases, all
He
while
is a
knowing very
whole
little
ass
about the
meal.
human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I
Last
finally
meal,
become
I
an
wanna
ordinary
eat up.
person and
Nom,
gained my
nom,
freedom.
nom.
But I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained
Especially
some
after
confidence,
that, like,
have you had any
cutscene at the
thoughts
end
regarding
of
return to the stage?
last night's stream.
Why would you suddenly ask a question like that?
Well, if the little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire.
Sharing his
The experiences and decisions of the protagonist, Cleo, are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No exceptions.
But directing.
Nor do I think
No
it is
prob.
any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off the stage. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it has already been well worth the price of admission. I must admit, though, I'm a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to bid farewell to their past in such a magnificent manner.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not. I sincerely hope the show will serve as the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Thanks, Nervalette.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart. I love him
You are
so
very
much.
welcome.
Oops. Wrong button.
Many people were once enthralled by Lady Farina's performances, myself included. I hope that one day she'll be able to understand that our appreciation was always sincere.
He's so sweet. Ah. I love him so much. Wait.
Good news, everyone! It's done. The Opera Epiclese is booked. Thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Neuvillette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance. We've had to fight every step of the way for this opportunity, but we now have all of the ingredients necessary to stage a truly spectacular performance. A touching story, a magnificent venue, and last but not least, a passionate and dedicated cast. Now, let's work together and make this show the best it can be.
This is truly wonderful.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things. I think it's really going to resonate with the audience now.
Wow, you two had a constructive conversation? That's great!
Farina, who's this weird?
Communication is vital to any good performance.
Look at us. We've come so far. I never could have pictured this scene a few days ago.
It's amazing! Even though Farina's still being a bit of a drama queen about it all, she's really fired everyone up!
Really looking forward to the final production.
Please feel free to give us any comments or suggestions you have. We really value your input.
Hey, Loic, get over here. Time to practice the opening number.
It. Oh. These are cute.
That cursed Cleo. She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
This has nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Leave this place, O little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles. I haven't seen such a fine performance in a long time. If only...
What should we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage!
Not doing so hot, is she?
Why? Why does it have to be now?
What?
Hey, what's going on? You're due on stage any second now.
Time for the medical
no,
problem.
Not
Yep.
again.
She was
But
probably
why?
pushing herself too
What
hard
about your
during
new
practice.
meds? Did they stop working?
They've been getting less and less effective
Well, honey,
over
I
time.
know that
I've
feeling.
had to keep increasing my dose.
What? I thought they cure it. So they were only managing your symptoms?
Usually how it goes with
I
chronic
figured
illness.
whatever it took to get me through this final performance.
How could you do this to yourself? And after that
Very
lecture
few
you
of them
gave me
have
about not
cures.
looking after my health.
I'm sorry. I've let everyone down.
You can only manage
You-
symptoms sometimes.
This is a conversation for another time. How can the show go on without its star performer?
Miss Farina, I'd like to make a request of you.
Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going to ask.
Oh, look at her.
Look, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line. But I guess another guy in the troupe with a similar voice register could take it. Why?
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. I'll sing the finale. From the sublime to the ridiculous. After all that, everything's come full circle.
Thank you, Miss Farina. I'm so sorry to put you in this position after everything you said.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting in too deep. No one likes regrets, myself included. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. After all, this show is dedicated to the life and legacy of our director. What, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo shines so brightly?
It's her pure heart. Despite all the pain and loneliness she had to endure, she never once stopped believing in the beauty in this world.
Speaking from experience,
Well
hon?
said. I leave Director O'Reilly in your hands.
Here she goes. I mean, a lot of this storyline was like very,
Is she here yet?
very mirroring of Furina's story.
She's not coming! You're wrong. She's here.
I like this art style.
Si je pouvais vivre dans l'eau, le monde serait-il plus beau? Me pardonneras-tu, ô chère mère? L'eau dans son courant fait danser nos vies, et la cité elle nourrit, ainsi que toi, mon doux amour.
But what about your wish?
My wish.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Damn, some flexing animation skills. Brought to you by all those whales that lost the 50-50. Yep.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Furina on the stage just now?
She hasn't been seen for a while now, and she just appears out of nowhere? Gotta say, though, her acting skills are as superb as ever.
The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
Wait, that's not her name. What's going on?
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger.
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully, not too many people recognize
We helped
me.
them, that's all.
It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed to make for myself, even if I had no choice. Still, I have to admit that, despite everything, it felt good to be back on the stage again.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Farina.
Hey, that's not what we agreed on.
Deal with it, bitch.
Oh, so it was Farina after all.
She's back.
Honestly, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
All right, calm down. Don't be mad. This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged. After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible, is equally deserving of recognition.
I'm trying to get to the point where I can do the last bit of lantern right. But I was so behind on Fontaine shit.
Basis. I wasn't ready for this yet.
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
At most, you might be asked to sign a few autographs later.
Oh, yeah? Well, since you think it's so easy, you can sign them
Quite
for me.
interesting that she got her vision.
No, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly gave Paimon a heart attack. Paimon flew over to where she was supposed to be and was about to drop the prop vision, and then suddenly, a real one popped out of thin air!
Lamau.
Oh, that. I've got no idea what happened there either.
I'm actually kind of surprised
but hey,
by
it worked
that.
pretty well, didn't it? I'll bet the
Considering
audience has never
there's
seen
technically
such
no
a
more
realistic
Hydro
prop.
Archon.
Wait, what about Dolphy? I wonder how she's doing.
What makes
Let's
me
go check on her
wonder,
as soon as we finish clearing the stage.
Yes.
the more
Plus,
details
she'll
behind the
definitely
vision.
want to hear how the end of the show went. If nothing else, we can safely say that we accomplished what we set out to do.
Getting more and more lore, dude. Supposedly visions come from when the Archons turn their gaze upon the people. But if there's technically no more Hydro Archon, where does the Hydro vision come from? Is there a different Archon involved, or does it just all come from Celestia specifically? Hmm.
Ah, you're back. She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she still needs a few more days of rest.
Yeah, that would make
How did the
sense.
performance go? Was it a success?
But
Did
also
the
there was
audience like it?
I believe there was a time where nobody got electrovision for a while.
What happened while Farina
When
was on the stage? You'll probably be able to read all about it in the Steambird first thing
when the
tomorrow
Electro
morning.
Archon was
That's
having
wonderful.
her little isolation
I'm so
bit.
sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I guess I was wrong to try and tough it out to begin with.
During the
No, don't worry
Vision
about
Hunt
it.
decree.
Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, everyone's work deserves recognition. Even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene,
I want to
the
know more
audience
about
was
the visions.
very impressed by your performance. It's safe to say that you made your mark on this memorial show.
Well,
What if
one
it
way or
isn't
another,
even the
we
Archon?
did it.
Period.
I've had bad luck ever since I was born, so I never expect things to go smoothly in life. I'm just happy to know that we went out on a high note.
Literally
That's all
just
that
a
matters.
culmination of
Blaming
the
your
people's
bad
thoughts
luck
and
again, are
feelings
we?
in tangible
Maybe if you
form and
didn't
giving
push
them
yourself
abilities.
past your limits so much, your illness wouldn't be flaring up all the time.
Oh, don't you start. I don't have the energy to argue with you right now.
I mean,
Aw,
technically,
you two clearly care a lot about each other.
but also technically they
I don't know
removed
what you're
the
talking
seat.
about.
You mean we never
Focalor
stopped
basically
arguing with each
eliminated the
other?
seat of the Hydro Archon, period.
So, any plans for the next step?
I'm sure they have
the
set
brilliant
rules for the
performance you put
visions.
on,
We just don't
The
know them
reputation
yet.
of your troupe is sure to spread through Fontaine like wildfire. You won't have to disband if you don't want to. You could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the little
I'm sure it's
Oceanid
some
to the
sort of
bigger
plot
theater
twist
troops out
shit.
there. That would do wonders for your financial situation.
No, we should still disband.
Yeah, it's what we all agreed to.
After all that's happened, I should give you guys some space. But maybe our paths will cross again one day.
Hey, don't just walk off! Ugh.
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Farina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our director's infatuation with musicals.
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but I don't know if my health will allow me to.
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. I guess I'll hold off until you've properly recovered as well. What about you, Miss Farina? Any future plans?
Well, it might be against the
frankly,
heavenly
I
principles
think
for us
a
to
return
know,
to
so
obscurity
they
is
might
no
not
longer
be
an
able
option
to
for
tell
me.
us, even if we ask.
I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests will hound me wherever I go, until I finally acquiesce. You rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the show.
Sorry.
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that this whole experience has shown me that perhaps I'm not as averse to a return to the stage as I previously imagined. Maybe Nervilette was right. Maybe Cleo is the right role for me. I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to express myself.
Yeah, use it as an art
So,
form, not
maybe
a
the show will
escape
go on for me after all.
as you were doing before. There's no need to draw lines in the sand. Just do whatever feels right to you.
Yeah. There was once a time when I was an actress in a masquerade, seeking only to hide the truth. But from now on, I want to spend my time learning real stories about real people and how they touch the lives of others around them. I want to watch them blossom and wither, see them refined on the page, retold on the stage, and remembered long into the
That's what's kind
future.
of funny how she was
I'm
around for
sure
500
this is
years
what
and
captivated
didn't
director
have
O'Reilly
any
as
way
well.
to express powers
Sounds like you're
as
ready
an
to stop
archon.
running from your true calling. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Notlon. Just slowly the archons are all all quitting their jobs. Next time I'll invite you to join me.
Then it's a deal. If a vision
Yeah,
is a gift
they
from
said
the
Notlon
gods,
was like a nation of
then
dragons,
I
so
should
I'm
do
like,
my
oh yeah!
best to honor it.
Give me more dragon people. Nom nom. Yay, finally, can I do the thing now? Oh, I didn't do this yet. Go over there real quick. This
Astra.
one was over here earlier.
Thank you for...
Unionize. Well, I think in some way they there's a little bit of that, because I imagine that's kind of low-key why Zhongli decided he didn't want, why he was willing to give up the Gnosis. Because I feel like the Saritsa's ultimate goal is to go against the Heavenly Principles, so... And she needs the Gnosis for that. I mean, there's always such good fanfic for Genshin, dude. I've been on a Fontaine fanfic kick right now. Can I do the thing now, please? Yes, glory to fanfic. Thank you. Bruh.
Also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine.
Wait until 2 days
I believe I
later.
will
What do you
continue
mean?
Pride and fulfillment.
Fine. Bruh. Could they make this a little faster next time? Yeah. Probably a good thing I decided to do it earlier than later tonight. Aria wants to stream later tonight, so she's gonna play Phasma with friends. Where's my quest marker? Oh, I didn't write one. Maybe. But yeah, that's why I was kind of like upset, low-key upset that it was 5.5 hours for Act 5 of Fontaine. Because I was like, sheesh. Alright, let's go see what shenanigans are going on. Boy is laying at my feet. I'm doing my best.
We didn't have anything else to do today, right? Why don't we go have a look around? Maybe we'll run into her.
Yeah, like, why can't I just do, like, a short loading screen or whatever time?
The mountain air is so refreshing. It makes Paimon feel like she could float around all day and never get tired. Cream! Gummies!
This child?
Fruit!
That's how you pronounce it?
Huh? Did you hear that? Sunshine! Blue skies! Good vibes!
Something about Buell fruit and good vibes.
Right? So Paimon wasn't just hearing things. That voice sounds really familiar. Well, we've got the time. Why don't we go check it out?
Okay, let's go see what's up. Papa makes his way up the mountain, search for source of the shouting. As far as you can make out, it's almonds, this, cocoa paste, that. Sounds delicious. That's for sure. The lively voice invigorates your steps and you ascend the mountain in no time. Ass queens!
Ah, well, if it isn't my dear partners. See, I
told you that something good was going to happen during our travels today. I have to say, sometimes the Steambird's astrology column is spot on.
It's just your lucky day.
Are you guys also here to catch the festivities? Oh, and
Yes,
that
the
reminds
lesbians.
me. Happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite.
And to you too.
Happy Lantern Rite to you too! Wait, if you're here for Lantern Rite, then what are you doing on top of this deserted mountain? And that voice we heard, that was you, right, Nadia?
Oh, impressive. You could tell it was me from that far away. You've got good ears.
We just love you so much.
That or your voice is just really loud.
Paimon, chill. Show some respect.
Well, of course it is. After all, I'm a boss.
Boss ass bitch.
Indeed. I suppose it's an asset.
Sure is! Having a loud voice is a handy tool when it comes to communication. Wait. That wasn't even Paimon's point. Paimon just wants to know why you two were shouting from the top of this deserted mountain. There was something about almonds, maybe? And buell fruit? Ooh, is it some sort of secret code?
No, it's not a code. The words are meaningless.
Perhaps, but the act of shouting was very meaningful indeed. That's just what mountain climbers do, right? After all the hard work it takes to make it to the top, as you stand on the summit looking out at the vast scenery, it's not easy to resist the urge to release those emotions.
She's so cute. I love her. I see. So it's not what you were shouting that matters, but the act of shouting itself.
Exactly. You get me, partner. I was afraid that it would cause a disturbance, so I asked the locals around here, and they said it was fine. Apparently most hikers like to shout when they get to the top, so the locals are used to it by now.
That's cute.
So, you see, it's not just me. I guess everyone shouts from the top of a mountain at some point in their life.
Sometimes you can't help it.
Speak for yourself.
When you're stressed, don't you ever just get the urge to do something for no reason?
Not really. If I ever get stressed, I just go hunting.
Oh, that's a pretty good way to relieve stress.
What I choose to hunt depends on my mood.
Huh?
Oh, yeah?
Anyway,
Oh, yeah?
let's give it a try. Shout anything you want. It's a real stress reliever.
As long as Paimon has clothes on her back and food in her belly, Paimon doesn't think there's any stress that needs relieving.
And I prefer to keep things bottled up.
I
Repress!
bet you guys are just too embarrassed to let loose. No need to be shy. Even Farina was shouting from the top of this mountain earlier.
Who?
Huh? Did Paimon hear that right? Farina's also here? In Chaoyang Village?
Do tell what you like
Believe
to
in your ears.
hunt.
It is indeed as you heard.
She's right next to her, actually.
Actually, the reason we climbed this mountain in the first place was also because we heard the sound of shouting.
Yes, we could just about make out someone yelling things like, "Help me!" and "What should I do?" So we hurried up here to check it out. And what do you know? Miss Farina was standing right there, all red in the face. She practically sprinted back down the mountain the minute she saw us.
That reminds me. I believe what she actually said was, "So help me, I will figure out what I should do about this script."
So, you could actually hear what she was saying? Why didn't you say so earlier? I thought someone was really in trouble.
I figured we would come check out the situation either way. Why not let her keep some privacy?
I believe they're similar.
Oh, seems like you caught Farina in the middle of some stress relief as well. She probably would have never thought. No, she definitely would have never thought she would run into anyone she knew all the way out here.
Was she alone?
I think so. We ran into Nervalet on the way here as well, but he was already on his way back, so they probably weren't together.
What? Nervalet was here too?
So many people from Fontaine.
What was he doing here? It couldn't have been for vacation.
I think it just might have been, actually. But
Man needs a
apparently
break.
He only stayed for half a day before heading back. He's a very busy man.
Neuvillette is not the type to take much time off. Taking even a half day for himself is already a huge step in the right direction.
True.
Didn't Charlotte publish an article on the Liyue tea industry recently? Maybe he was inspired to come buy some tea after reading that article. You know, just like you were.
Where, you know,
my situation is
his
completely
boyfriend.
different. I'm here because I was asked to accompany you. The tea purchase is simply an added bonus of this location.
You Fontanians and your tea drinking.
Oh, it's not for me. I lost a bet with Ridesley, and now I have to buy him something.
Right. Seems like a fitting gift.
It was just a spur-of-the-moment sort of bet. Ridesley gets really invested in that sort of thing, but he couldn't care less about what he wins in the end. You could give him mint plants that you plucked from the side of the road, and he wouldn't even mind.
If only he was that easygoing when it came to talking business. In any case, I'm pretty sure the tea you bought is this region's specialty. What is it called again? Neuvillette even mentioned it earlier.
Sunglow tea. Buy 10 boxes, get half off.
Yes, that's the one.
You didn't really buy 10 boxes, did you?
The girl needs
Do
to.
I look like
Yeah.
someone who would fall for that sort of marketing trap?
That reminds me. You guys said you only came up here because you heard my voice, right? I hope it didn't put you out. You must have had other plans for the day.
Oh, that's right. Who tell? A few days ago, we heard that a friend was going to be in Xiaoying Village, so we decided to come and see if we could run into her.
Is that what we were doing?
Oh dear. We've been chatting for quite some time. I'm sorry for keeping you.
No harm done, partner.
That's good.
I'll do anything for you, honey buns.
We should probably head out and look for Hu Tao.
So find the gremlin.
No need to stay on our account. We just got up here, so we're gonna stay around for a little longer.
Go and meet your friend. We can meet up in Xiaoying Village later.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Sounds good. We're gonna head down the mountain then.
Date night with best girls? Let's go.
What do I have to do to get you to yell from the top of this mountain? Name your price.
You really want to hear it that bad, huh?
I'm just curious is all. I have a feeling you'll say something amazing.
I will pass. I prefer to let actions speak louder than words.
A kiss. Yes. Give kiss. That gremlin nicey.
Xiaoying Village is known for its tea, but you know what else they have with tea? That's right, dim sum!
You haven't talked about dim sum so
Gummy
much. I
say
want some.
something about dim sum being eaten in the morning? Oh, Paimon wonders if we can still get some at this time of day.
Afternoon tea might be more appropriate at this point.
Oh, well that's fine too. Paimon doesn't care what kind of tea it is as long as it comes with some tasty snacks.
Num num num.
Now let's see what kind of yummy things we can find around here.
Man, I want some good food. I
Paimon's
want
not
some.
seeing things, is
Oh?
she? Is that Farino standing between
Oh?
Zhongli and Hu Tao?
Oh no. I'm ready for this. Judging based on that hat, I'd say so.
Wonder what they're talking about. Zhongli knows a lot of stuff. Maybe he's telling Farina about Xiaoying Village. Oh, or maybe Hu Tao is trying to rope Farina into being one of her clients.
Want to make a bet?
Hey, this isn't the Fortress of Meropide. But Paimon could be convinced for the right price. Let's say loser buys the winner 3 huge
Yeah, if they're
bowls
going
of
on vacation together, there ain't no way they aren't
Since
lesbians
Zhongli is
together.
there, Paimon bets things are pretty tame. It's decided then. Paimon votes for tour guide Zhongli.
Lamo. And I vote for Hustler Hu Tao.
All right, no time to waste. Let's go see who's right. Good afternoon, Hu Tao, Zhongli, and Farina!
chill, Paimon, chill.
Oh, great. Now Paimon's shouting too.
Oh, well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Seems like our luck just keeps on growing.
That we were able to meet you both without prior arrangement must mean that this is quite the serendipitous meeting indeed.
Huh? Oh, so both of you are acquainted with the
You
Traveler and
fucking
Paimon
bet.
then.
We know everybody. I've keenly felt the passage of time since our last meeting.
Looks like someone's learned a thing or two from Zhongli.
I must admit, I am a bit surprised to see you here, Traveler. But seeing as you're a hero who's been all over to that,
Tao's the only
it makes
grifter
sense that you
I'll
would be
associate with.
well-traveled and well-connected. Since we have found ourselves in each other's company within this fertile land, allow me to take this opportunity to wish you a happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite.
It appears you have been to Fontaine then.
Yep.
Given your proclivity to spread good deeds wherever you go, it's no surprise that you would make the acquaintance of a celebrity as illustrious and celebrated as Miss Farina.
Don't pump her ego.
That's quite high praise. What I mean to say is, you flatter me, Mr. Zhongli. Although I've built up a certain following within Fontaine, it is no reflection of strength or wisdom. I stand before you right now as nothing more than an ordinary traveler in search of beautiful scenery and creative inspiration. There is definitely more to Mr. Zhongli than meets the eye.
I was wondering if she
I could
knew.
tell as much from our conversation earlier. Given his breadth of knowledge on both academic and worldly matters, there's no way he hasn't heard about what happened in Fontaine.
Lamo.
Is he just feigning ignorance for my benefit?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think she would.
No
She's
common
a kind of a
tourist.
head
I
empty
simply
bimbo,
won't have you talk
so.
about yourself that way.
Huh? Does that mean Hu Tao also knows?
You may not have heard, friends, but...
Miss Hu Tao.
Miss Farina is now one of my esteemed clients.
Sounds about right.
Yup.
Did you hear that, Paimon? She's Hu Tao's esteemed client.
Okay, you win. Guess Paimon will have to break into the hidden stash at the bottom of her shoe.
What's
How do you fit more in those tiny ass shoes?
Don't tell me. You two were placing bets on us.
It was Paimon's idea.
We just saw you guys standing on the side of the road and couldn't help but take guesses as to what you were talking about.
I could see it.
Oh, I see. That means you, my friend, must have guessed that I was trying to promote my business to Miss Farina.
Well, you know me.
That I do, my friend. What was Paimon's guess then?
Paimon thought Zhongli was showing the newbie around.
By newbie, you mean me, right?
Yep.
If that's the case, then Paimon's guess was also correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
sounds
right.
about right.
Mr. Zhongli was telling me about some great sightseeing spots in the area.
You see? Paimon was right too! Since both of our guesses were right, there can't be a winner or a loser.
Fine, keep your secret stash then.
Hey, don't be upset, Traveler. How about this? You buy Paimon a bowl and Paimon will also buy you a bowl.
Okay.
As for the third bowl...
Since I was
That's
the
on
subject
you.
of the bet, perhaps it should go to me? You know, as a congratulations for the huge deal I just struck.
I'll buy you a bowl anytime you want.
I was just joking. Anyway, I should be the one treating you. The funeral
I'm
parlor
doing
is allowed
quest
to
shit,
bring
fuck
in
off.
to some after all.
Oh, Paimon almost forgot to ask about the most important question. Did something happen recently, Farina?
Flip her upside down and shake her for more.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, with you enlisting the services of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor and all.
She's mortal now.
Well, yes.
Really? Oh no. Paimon is so sorry for your loss. Although Paimon may have not known the person, please accept Paimon's deepest...
Whoa, it's not like that, Paimon.
Huh? But Paimon just thought, since you hired the services of a funeral parlor and all... Hey, it's not that big of a stretch.
No.
Really, Paimon? It's not like you don't know me. Do I look like I know anyone who would ask me to coordinate their funeral?
Fair.
Okay. Miss Hu Tao is simply helping prepare some props for my film. Not too long ago, I read a collection of horror stories from Liyue. The content was spectacular. In fact, I still feel the need to sleep with the light on even now. Anyway, that's not the point. Now that Fontaine's biggest star has returned to the stage, I figured it's
still
about
leveling up.
time
He's
the
only
industry
60 right
enjoyed
now.
a breath of fresh air.
You might even call it a breath of fresh air. What?
Hey, that's pretty good. I'll have to remember that for my ad posters.
Yeah, I was trying to level him up yesterday when I was grinding off stream, but I need more sub detection units, so.
My original plan was to just relax and enjoy the sights. But then I ran into Miss Hu Tao and Mr. Zhongli,
Fucking
and well,
sub detection
you know the
units are
rest.
so hard to find.
I suppose it was meant to be.
It was a fated meeting indeed.
Yeah, that's Aria for you.
Zhongli sure loves his lofty turns of phrase. But if you ask me, it's all thanks to that man who stopped to ask for directions.
Oh? Who was it?
It's someone you know. Wanna take a guess?
I think it was Nouvellette, wasn't it?
What? How did you guess that on your first try?
Very impressive, my friend. Your guessing game is spot on today.
Not bad. Yeah, we met some sweet lesbians on the mountain. One look at the pitiful expression on Furina's face is enough to convince you to leave that part out about the shouting.
Huh. Paimon never thought Nouvellette would be the type to get lost.
I'm sure he didn't get lost. Even I was able to find my way to this place without any trouble. He was already getting ready to leave by the time I arrived. He just wanted to ask someone about the quickest way to get back to Fontaine.
Yup, that's exactly what he asked. This area is full of mountains and
snuggle
rivers.
for a bit?
It's normal to not know the fastest route.
Do I need to lift you? For him, though, swimming would probably be the fastest route of them all.
So, were you the one
can
that
fly.
pointed him
What
in
are
the
you
right
talking about?
Of course. I'm also a guide of sorts, you know. So naturally, I also have a great sense of direction. But speaking of your friend...
What about him?
Glad the writers have
He doesn't get out
have
much,
embraced
does he?
Farina's inner girl failure. Yeah. No, he doesn't.
No wonder. He was stiff as a board and way too polite. I would have never guessed he was here on vacation if you hadn't told me.
All in all, he was only here for half a day. I'm pretty sure he's the only one who would consider that to be a vacation.
Sounds about right.
Oh? This gentleman you speak of must keep a demanding schedule.
Yep.
I'm sure he does. You didn't see him, but he was dressed like he was about to attend some important meeting. It wasn't anything like what someone would wear on vacation.
Is that so?
Wait, you didn't see him, Zhongli?
Dragons missed
Unfortunately,
each
no.
other. Hazukashi.
At the time, it appeared as if Director Hu and Miss Farina were having quite the productive conversation. I know matters of business can take much discussion, so I decided to fetch some tea for them.
What a shame. That gentleman seemed like a sophisticated sort of guy. I actually think you two would have hit it off.
Man, hot man,
Is that
hot formal
so?
man gift. Judging by how Zhongli is acting and taking into consideration Neuvillette's true identity, could Zhongli have been avoiding him on purpose?
Hmm.
Oh, I see. It's truly a pity.
To borrow Miss Farina's turn of phrase, perhaps it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, with the Traveler around, I'm sure you'll have a chance to get to know each other at some point.
That's right. She's got more friends than she knows what to do with.
I have a certain charm about me.
Well, that's certainly true. Oh, that reminds me. If you get the chance, you should try and talk to Neuvillette into loosening up a bit. Just tell him the
He's
Palais
fine the
Ammonia
way
isn't
he
going to fall
is,
apart if
okay?
he disappears for a few days. He shouldn't keep himself cooped up all the time.
That's true. He does
Even
deserve a
clams
longer
open
break.
their shells to let in fresh water every once in a while, right? If he's really that much of a stickler for protocol, he can fill out a leave of absence request. He'd have to approve it himself since he handles that sort of thing now.
Lol.
But you know what I mean.
That does make sense.
Seems like this gentleman is also in charge of something pretty important.
Pretty much running the entire country. He's the fair impartial Eudex of the Fontaine, head of the highest court in the land, otherwise known as the demon who controls all paperwork in Fontaine.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty uptight sort of guy, all right. In my experience, a leader needs to be able to roll with the punches. That also includes knowing when and what to prioritize.
Yes.
It seems like your friend still has a lot of growing to do.
If I remember correctly, he's already
Snuggly
several thousands of
boy.
years old. You're quite right, Miss Hu Tao.
Oh? Traveler, Miss Farina, those two individuals over there appear to recognize you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
The
Navi
lesbians are back.
Hey, over here!
We saw you all chatting over here, and we're wondering if we could join in.
Please, excuse the interruption.
Oh, so polite. No apologies necessary. Any friend of the Traveler and Miss Farina is a friend of mine.
Ah, straight to the point. I like it.
Everyone circles around and you begin begins to introduce themselves. Genshin, are you okay? Hu Tao's eyes light up when she hears about Clarinne's profession. Of course. But a quick explanation from Farina and Navia seems to dispel some of her more misguided ideas.
It's getting late. If we want to catch a boat back before dark, we should probably get going.
Indeed. Then, Miss Farina.
Oh, yes?
When are you planning to head back? Do you need us to escort you?
Oh, I don't think that will be necessary. I mean, you're not my subordinate anymore. You don't need to look after me.
I didn't mean it that way.
In the
It's normal
capacity
for
as a friend.
Friends to travel home together if they run into each other on the road.
There are a lot of mountainous roads in this area. I imagine they'll be even harder to navigate after dark.
Exactly. Just like in those ghost stories. 8 paths converge in a wood. Beside them an old house is stood. If you dare to go inside, not a soul will greet your eye. But if you take a closer look, there may be something you mistook. A candle flickers to and fro. yet there is no wind to make it so. What is its secret? What could it mean? In this wood, where mystery screams.
I love Hotel.
My dear demoiselles, ladies, no, I mean friends, please take me with you.
Of course.
Farina.
Gotta say, Farina, you are really quite the character. By the way, did I hear you mention that Clorand used to work under you? Then you must have also been a leader at some point.
Well, that's, all in the past now. Besides, being a leader is hard. It wasn't the right job for me. I prefer how things are now. I can come and go as I please, and get to enjoy the sweet taste of freedom.
I see. Well, you've certainly picked an apt place to relax. Xiaoying Village is an exemplary choice.
Well, you all have a good time.
Only the best. And I've learned a lot, too. Thank you so much, Miss Hu Tao and Mr. Zhongli.
It's fine. You've thanked us more than enough already. The next time you're in this neck of the woods, I'll treat you to some dim sum in the city.
Dim sum? Is that some kind of Liyue term for snacks or desserts?
Can be
They
either.
are a part of it. It's basically a table full of as much tea, sweets, and good company as you can manage.
Oh, so it's basically a tea party. Sounds great.
Nom, nom, nom.
Make sure to order the winter melon cake and the lotus flower crisp. They're
Stop,
so
I'm
sweet and
hungry.
delicious, Paimon knows you'll love them.
Ooh, okay. I'll be looking forward to it then.
Wait, but didn't you guys say you were here on vacation? How come you're all going home empty-handed?
You're not bringing home any souvenirs?
Of course I am. I bought tons of fun things to bring home with me.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Navia
A
didn't.
kite, a parasol, a little tin frog that jumps. Oh, and a stuffed toy of a mythical beast. Clorand is the one who didn't buy anything for
I need to
herself.
order food.
So, all you're bringing
I have
back
to
with
wait.
you is that
I'll wait
tea?
till after stream.
And some tea-flavored
I
hard
ate
candies.
before stream, but
They're for
envy
Sichuan.
now.
Clorand isn't much of a shopaholic.
Well, one of us has to practice restraint.
One of us has to carry the
I'm
bags.
hardly reckless with my Mora. I'll have you know, all the purchases I made today were well within my budget.
Oh yes, Farina and Hutao are in gay with each other. True. What about you, Farina?
Me? Oh, well, I bought some tea, of course. I just had to try all the varieties recommended in the Steambird.
I have some
Other than
plain
that,
rice
just
in the
some
fridge.
bits and bobs, you know.
I
A
still have
little
some
bit of
pasta, but
this,
it's kind of a
little
lot of
bit of
cheese on
that.
it, so I might
They should
have
all
to
be
toss
things I
that.
can use. I think.
Because I think the only person who can eat it would be Aria, but I know she's not as keen on leftovers. She's a lot like me in that aspect. So you fell for a few marketing traps then, huh?
Now Paimon's even more confused. If you bought that much
I'm really
stuff,
craving the mention of
into
fish
one
and
of
chips
Linny's
earlier.
magic packets?
Oh, actually.
There's a place
Monsieur
here in
Neuvillette
town
took
that
them with him.
makes really good ones.
Oh,
and I
so
love
that's
it.
what happened.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why did he take
Yeah,
them?
my lactose intolerance is increasing drastically lately. My
That's
stomach's
quite
been throwing
the
fits
imagination you've got
over
there, Paimon.
acid reflux as well. So
Monsieur Neuvillette just saw the
trying to
amount of
cut
bags we
out
had and
anything
offered to
that's
take them
gonna
back
trigger
for
it
us.
any worse than
I
it
felt
is.
a bit bad at first, but I really did have a lot of stuff.
I don't want to cut out cheese. I
He
love
even
cheese,
offered to
dog.
deliver my gifts to the Fortress of Meripede for me once he's done with the day's work. Neuvillette is a man of his word. If he says he can do something, then he means it.
See, even Clorand was happy to take him up on his offer. If even his trusty subordinate
I've been
agreed,
considering
then who was I to
discussing
refuse?
with my doctor about my acid
Wow,
reflux
he
disease,
seems
'cause
like a
I'm
real
on
gentleman.
over the counter meds, but
Maybe
it's not
he's
working
not as uptight
as
as I
good as
thought.
it used to. It
If
works
only the
a
funeral
little bit,
parlor
but
had an employee as thoughtful, proactive, and
I don't
responsible
know
as
if
him.
there's something else that they
Right,
can do,
Zhongli?
but maybe there is.
Indeed.
Corinne said Neuvillette offered to deliver her gifts to Risley. So if we go to the entrance of the Fortress of Meripede, maybe we'll run into Neuvillette.
Hell yeah.
But
Shut up, Pyah. I don't want to listen
That
to these two.
reminds me, a new year of work is about to begin. If there's anything you want to talk about, Zhongli, you know you can come to me. I'm all ears.
Does the director have any concerns?
It just seemed like you were a bit preoccupied today, and much less talkative than usual. You barely said anything other than, "Is that so?" and "Indeed." If you ask me, I'd say you're having a midlife crisis. You're getting to be around that age after all.
Oh my gosh.
Is that so?
Ugh.
I jest. Given its distance from the city, Chaoying Village enjoys a much slower pace of life. Surrounded by such peace and tranquility, I also seem to have developed a proclivity for inactivity.
Lol.
I apologize for making you worry.
Hu Tao is such a shitlord, and I love her.
I see. What do you think, Traveler? Is this atmosphere putting you in a lazy mood too?
Out of mind, out of sight.
Wow, you are getting really good at these kinds of lines.
Indeed.
Oh, I love them. Woo! Let's go crash the boyfriends. I think so. I was exploring a little bit yesterday. Oh, never mind. I already turned it in. Yes. I'm crashing their party. They have no choice. Here's our boy.
look, it's Neuvillette. We lucked out.
Lamau.
Oh, it's you. It has been some time since our last meeting.
Has it
Few
though?
people frequent this location. Since I was able to conclude my work early for the day, I thought I might take a walk and avail myself of this area's peace and quiet.
You call this early? Do you always work this late, Neuvillette?
Strictly speaking, that depends on the agenda for the day. I
Oh,
am
honey.
hardly bereft of time, however, so working late is of little consequence to me.
You need more breaks.
If you have so much time on your hands, then why did you only go to Chaoying Village for half a day?
He's so
First,
pretty.
I should clarify that I was referring to my lifespan, rather than the time at my disposal on any given day. Second, I was unaware you possessed knowledge of my trip to Chaoying
We
Village.
just ran into a bunch of people who've seen you.
I see. Thank you for informing me.
So did you deliver the gifts?
Yes, they have been safely delivered.
I have to hand it to Clorant. Just a simple gift delivery, and she has the great and mighty Udex at her beck and call.
She's just trying to get
I
them
was
together.
Just passing through. It was merely an act of convenience.
All right. Then I hereby confirm receipt of the goods on behalf of the staff of the Fortress of Meripede.
More
A
time in
verbal
your
receipt
routine,
of
specifically
confirmation?
my time in your
Is
schedule.
such a formality really necessary for a small matter such as this?
Guess not. This quantity of tea, though, seems a little excessive for a gift, don't you think? Before you know it, they'll start accusing me of taking bribes.
About that.
Bitch, you love tea. Don't fucking lie.
Much of that is my own excess, I'm afraid.
Oh? Why? What happened?
It was buy 10 boxes, get half off.
Everyone's fallen for
That
that.
explains it then. Well, go ahead and leave them to me. I'll get through this stash as fast as I can.
He would.
You have my thanks. Oh, there's something else I'd like to give to you.
This is a stone slate, engraved with a symbolic design.
While that is an apt description, it is in actuality a legal codex.
Lol. I can't believe you took him
legal
seriously.
codex,
Before the advent of modern writing utensils, information was recorded on stone slabs such as this.
Hand
The
in
law was no
marriage.
different.
Okay.
The
Since
awkwardness.
ancient times, the
I love
scales of
that.
justice have symbolized the fairness and impartiality of judiciousness. As a tribute to that sentiment, this slate was designed after a traditional legal codex and engraved with a symbol instead of text. During my travels recently, I chanced upon a roadside stall offering tourists the opportunity to try their hand at the ceramic arts, so I decided to have a go. We joked with Clarence some time ago about gifting you a legal codex. So, here you go.
Lamau.
So that's what this is about.
I love them.
I did not expect you to remember it as
Yeah,
well.
they like doing
In
their
any case,
gay-coded
I hope this can be considered as a reasonable attempt to join in on the banter.
I appreciate it.
It is a very good attempt. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Even your sense of humor centers around the law. That's an impressive level of commitment.
Commit to the bit.
Well, a gift of this significance deserves to be put on display, and I know just the place. Front and center in the fortress's showroom.
Surely there's no need for such a grand gesture.
I love them.
Just kidding. I don't have anything like a showroom. But we do have a storage room. We can put it next to all the mechanical parts Sijuin has collected.
Lamau.
That sounds good to me.
So that's what you were doing in Chaoying Village.
Indeed. Of course, while I was there, I also took the opportunity to taste the local spring water. The aftertaste is much purer than what I have delivered to me in Fontaine. It stands to reason that the long-distance transport has a tendency to imbue the water with extraneous emotion. If you want to experience the true flavor, you simply have to go to the source. Perhaps I should organize some time off to do the same elsewhere.
As they say in Leeway, balance between work and play is sure to keep your troubles at bay.
Then we are of the same mind. It appears my desire is justified.
His eyes.
If you say so, but you know you don't have to justify a
I'm so down
vacation,
bad for this
right?
man.
You can just take one. After all, you're hardly bereft of time. You can do whatever you want.
You're quite right. I suppose I suffer not from a lack of opportunity, but rather a lack of inspiration.
Hydro home being
However, after reading a
compared.
few articles about Liyue's holiday traditions, the idea popped into my head and made itself quite at home. Seeing as I was free of responsibilities for the morning, I decided to depart at once.
And how was it?
Refreshing. My spontaneous outing seemed to inspire quite a few other spontaneous decisions as well. Take, for example, my foray into ceramics. At first, soil from the ground is granular and unforgiving, but add the right amount of water, and it becomes soft, moldable, and able to take shape.
You know what
In
else
the past,
is
I never thought
moldable?
about how quotidian vessels were crafted.
Me.
But now, I have participated in their very making. This is also something I
what?
made today.
Oh, it's so cute. What, a big ladle?
That's a ladle? Paimon thought it was supposed to be some long-necked sea creature.
That was indeed one of my inspirations.
The color also really matches your style. What, bud?
Really? You like it?
Let me simp, okay?
To tell you the truth, given your unexpected arrival, I find myself quite unequipped to give you the welcome you deserve.
Oh, honey.
Around such an important holiday such as this, human custom would dictate that gifts should be in order.
He's
But
so
I'm
proud
afraid
of himself.
This is all I can offer.
As he should
If you'll
be.
have it,
It's
that is.
beautiful. Can I really keep this?
That is precisely why it would do me such a great honor if you accepted.
I fucking accept, bitch.
You are most
That's
welcome.
fine.
Happy Lantern Rite.
Oh, that reminds me.
Approve a leave of absence request for myself. That sounds like it could easily lead to a vicious cycle of self-indulgence, something which couldn't be in further violation of protocol. But I suppose I understand her point. My proclivity to refrain from personal outings does, in part, originate from a sense of responsibility toward my duties. But it is also due to a lack of desire to engage in the human world. But now I see that the human world is indeed full of many interesting places to discover.
I could have told you that.
Lantern Rite marks the start of the new year in Liyue. In the spirit of the season, then, I wish you a year of success as vast and endless as the open ocean.
Ugh, so pretty. It's illegal. Anyway. Back to the village. Especially with that case. There. Yes, old man. Is there something the matter? Oh, are you young lady, and are you the daughter of the Fey Commerce Guild's manager? Strange, all the rumors I heard spoke of a young master. So, we're here to investigate. I'm but a humble servant of the one beside me, in fact, is the real. Like this. Well, any opportunity to tease Paimon. Oh my, so you aren't. My apologies. I was considering your wondrous fashionable attire and your flying companion. To conduct to was also like that, like unlike ours, that I assumed that you must have come from Leeway Harbor to discuss matters with us. That sentence was way too wordy. Anyway. Lou, I am surnamed, and all the village call me Grandpa Lou. Apologies, I must. Apologize, I must. Recent years have not been kind. I have not even the tea to treat you to as guests. The Adepti surely will not be satisfied with the tea ceremony this year. Grandpa Lou, the stuff right by you, aren't those tea leaves? This quality is far too lacking. How can I possibly serve such things to my guests? Speaking honestly, we are waiting for someone from the Feiyun Commerce Guild, for we must discuss that with them, the tea leaf problem, and they're our biggest customers after all. They all look like main characters, so I just kind of figured, yeah. Okay, boy, you talk too much. What do you want? Oh, this is the world quest for this area. Okay. I'm not doing that right now. So did I finish? Was that all? Yep, that was it. Did it. Woo. Let's go. And I got what really mattered. Got free of the boy and the costumes. The only thing I'm missing is like 50 primos. Okay. I did the thing! It's true. I have stuff for this. Shit. Oh, so close. Give me the goods. Alright. Fucking did it. With 10 hours left. Oh boy. I think we'll do some of the story quests in the upcoming when I next play Genshin, because I got a lot to catch up on. All of this. Also haven't done any hangouts. I haven't touched any of these. I really should. When did we get a Kaya one? Ah! Claim all my rewards. I think I have already. This is another event that I haven't touched. But yeah, I claimed all the rewards from this already. These were given automatically. What is that? Oh, it's probably the little thing. Don't worry, I'm probably not gonna do it today. But yeah. Nah, that was just indicating it was completed. See you later, song. Up here though. Free primos. Speaking of claiming things. Oops. Yeah. Alright. I think I'm gonna dip because I want food. And since I can't afford to have it delivered, I have to make it. I want fish and chips, dude. Anyway, catch y'all later. I'll probably do another Genshin stream this week. I don't know whose character story we'll do next. Probably Nikita's, because I really need to unlock that boss. That's in her story. But these two are very high on my priorities. Not gonna lie. Anyway. Yeah. See you guys later. Aria is probably in a stream tonight. She mentioned wanting to do it. We were discussing our plans for streaming today because we were considering Lethal Company, but we were just like, I also wanted to finish Genshin shit. She wanted to do her Phasmo stuff, so I was like, maybe it's better we don't do Lethal Company. I can stream in the afternoon, and she can stream in the evening. It's much better. And then we can maybe do Lethal Company this week, or who knows? We are addicted to the company. So. But yeah. Anyway, see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Hydrate, dihydrate, food, take your meds, all that fun shit. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.